right, so Liberation Day is here, but the question is are we all liberated or are we heading into a recession? Specifically, in this video, I'm talking about what the housing market. The stock market seems to have spoken for itself. They do not seem to like the new Trump tariff policies that are rolling out. I would be very curious to hear your stories and boots on the ground perspective of, your portfolio in the stock market, real estate. Text me. My phone number is 937-888-2099. Would love to hear how these tariffs are impacting you. I have Perplexity booted up here. If you're not already familiar, Perplexity is an AI tool very akin to a ChatGPT. I just use this to source different news articles across the internet. Would highly recommend you make a free account if you don't already use this. Dove into Perplexity, asked it about what these Trump tariff policies might mean for specifically the real estate industry, and just kind of reading through it here, we have these tariffs could target imported goods from major trading partners, Canada, Mexico, and China. The first consideration is going to be the construction costs, which make a lot of sense. If we're going to be importing Canadian lumber, all that new lumber that's coming in is going to get hit with this tariff. I suspect that this number is likely going to change over time. But in any case, cost of new construction you can anticipate is going to go up across the country as we have to import that lumber, which makes affordable housing that's already a crisis that much more challenging as we can't build enough homes to match the existing demand that we need. And so new construction is going to continue to creep up in prices, which is just a problem for everybody. This is just highlighting the same thing here. Builders, are going to have the increased costs, and they're likely going to pass those on to consumers. Now, what might be a soft spot in all of this is the mortgage rates. They've been declining for the past few weeks. They were about 6.75, almost down to around 6.5 now. Depending on just how the market responds over these next few weeks and months, this would be the spot to keep an eye on. Do these mortgage rates continue to hold where they're at? Do we end up needing to, in a worst case, increase them, or do we get some flexibility and some leniency and these come down and make things more affordable? But something else worth noting is that as of the time I'm recording this, it's April 5th, the amount of applicants putting in for a home loan are at 30-year lows. So that is an indication that buyers are signaling that they do not have confidence specifically over the next few weeks or months, feeling that they are going to be making a move. Now, impact on sellers. This isn't going to be anything new. Sellers just might have another reason to keep on the sidelines. They already have low interest rates. If the mortgage rates do go up for any reason, it's just further indication for them to continue to stay where they're at. However, for those sellers that are selling, I would be curious to know what this is going to mean for the average days on market for listing your house, what kind of offer you end up accepting. If there are less buyers shopping, but you need to sell your home, does that mean that those sellers that list their homes, are they going to sell it for less than what they thought that it was worth? Now, the other thing that I'm particularly interested in is from the investor side of things. If you're somebody who your stock market portfolio is plummeting right now, but you have had some cash in reserves, is this a time where you may find some opportunity and buy properties, potentially deploy some of those reserves into real estate investments? All in all, I think that my biggest takeaway, it's just too soon to tell what all of this is going to mean. There's so many macro considerations going on. I would be very curious to hear what your perspective is. Text me. My phone number is 937-888-2099. Would love to, especially if you're in another part of the country. I'm here in the Cincinnati and Dayton, Ohio areas, so would love to give you my 2 cents on what we're seeing on the ground here. Especially if you are somebody that is looking to invest in our area from out of state, I'm happy to help facilitate that for you. Or even if you're here local, I'd love to meet up with you in person and discuss what this is doing for you and your family. I've heard some stories here in our backyard. We have Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and a lot of the Doge activity that's going on has definitely impacted job security and considerations in that regard. So I would love to connect with you as well. Otherwise, stay safe out there. Best of luck navigating all this, and we're going to get through it.